So welcome everyone to another episode of Accounting for Old Cars, and you join me today at Oulton Broad, just outside Lowestoft. And today we're going to do something a little bit different. I'm taking a recommendation of one of my subscribers, and we're going to drive from Oulton to the beautiful country estate of Somerleyton. Now, as you can see, it is a very clear, bright afternoon. A little bit nippy, but I've put the top down for our first fresh air drive, or al fresco drive in Bess this year. But I'll turn the camera around and you can have a look at where we are and just sort of get a sense of just how beautiful this is. And this is really the sort of start of the Broad, which again, as you can see, is very, very popular with tourists and people who love being out on the water. Also quite popular with wildfowl, as you can see. And yeah, if you get the chance, come up and have a look. I'm going to jump back into the car and we're going to see if we can make our way out of Oulton and into the countryside. So I have to admit, this is not a route I've ever done before, and I'm not really sure what to expect, but looking at the map, it certainly looks like an interesting road, and it's always much more interesting to come and explore these things with you for the first time. As I said in one of my last videos, you know, if we get lost together. There's quite a bit of traffic today because this literally is the first sunny afternoon that we've had in 2024 like this, where, you know, it's sunny enough for top-down driving, but as you can see, it's not exactly tropical, so I'm still pretty well wrapped up. So as we come over this little level crossing here, we meet the roundabout, and we're taking the first exit, which is to the B1074 towards Somerleyton. And Lowestoft's a very interesting town. It historically was a very important port and very significant as far as Suffolk was concerned, but the decline of the fishing industry really sort of sent the town into decline. It had a bit of an economic revival in the era of the North Sea exploration for oil and gas, but that too declined, and it always strikes me as though this is a town with huge potential and possibilities, wonderful people, and some fabulous architecture when you get into the centre of the town. It just needs a bit more enterprise, and I think one of the things that holds it back is that the road communications here are not great. You know, the A12 ceases really to be a dual carriageway just north of Ipswich, and that's a problem, you know, logistically. But nice beaches, great villages around the area, and it's on the sort of coastal route up to the North Norfolk coast and around to the Wash, so certainly worth coming, even if it's just a sort of stopping off point. Right. Okay, bendy roads, just what we like. Yeah. Yeah, this is a good recommendation. I like this. Relatively traffic free today. Yeah, this really is some beautiful countryside. Yeah, there's an opportunity to do a bit of heel and toe work here, and plenty of chance to stir the gearbox. Crikey, yeah. In some ways it would be more exciting if I was in Vitesse, the Mark 1, because the rear suspension on that car, as we know, is a little less forgiving. Out of overdrive. Okay, I'm on the brakes, back on the throttle. Just lifting off here. Yeah, brakes a little bit, just a touch, then down on the power. So just to sort of tell you a little bit about Somerleyton, it is really the second of the two grand country houses that survive in Suffolk. The other one being Ickworth House in the west of the county outside Bury St Edmunds, which is home to or was home to the Bristol family, or the Harvey family. And the truth is that a lot of these country houses simply didn't survive the Second World War. Many of them were in decline by the 1920s after the Great War, but several were requisitioned during the Second World War, and when they came back to their owners from the RAF or the British Army, they were in such sort of poor repair that frankly they just weren't economically viable anymore. And I think the war changed society forever. I mean, after the Great War, 14 to 18, the desire among working people to continue living almost in a kind of serfdom, working on the land and being at the complete mercy of landowning families, that had gone really. And of course, after the Second World War, farming had become mechanized. You know, it was really marked the end of the heavy horses, and Britain was looking forward, not backwards. You know, Harold Wilson, the Prime Minister, Labour Prime Minister of the 1960s, spoke of a white heat of technology, and certainly that's something that you could see in advances in automotive, aeronautical industries. And so there was a shift from the country to the town, shift in productivity, in farming, and a social shift as well. And of course, very high taxation meant that death duties often wiped out these estates and country houses, you know, at the moment when they were at their most vulnerable. And a lot of the big country houses, places like Sudbourne Hall, were simply torn down and sold off for the value of their building materials. But Somerleyton is one of the survivors, and it is a most beautiful house with wonderful grounds. I have to say, I haven't been to see the house for at least 5 years, but it is worth a visit. And just to be able to walk and drive around the estate as we're doing at the moment is worth a visit alone. Just crossing the river, and again this is all part of the Norfolk Broads, and you can see here the low-lying land. particularly pretty church with its round tower and thatched roof. And again, it's an example of this wonderful tithe barn. Yeah, I have to say, this is a beautiful part of the county to come and visit, and again, so different in character from where we were last week in West Suffolk. There's a kind of wildness to this area that particularly appeals to me, and yeah, I can certainly recommend this route as a drive, and certainly, you know, as a place to come and visit. I think this part of Suffolk around sort of Lowestoft, right up on the border towards Great Yarmouth, is definitely worth coming and looking at. If you get the chance, have a look at my earlier video which I did at Reedham Ferry, where I took this car across the chain ferry at Reedham. That's just a few miles away from us here, and if you enjoyed this, then you might like that video as well. But in the meantime, thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Take care.